Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl, BRANDIJENAE, and I am back with a video with a live. Well, I decided I was getting ready to record this video, and then I said, well, let me just do a live because I've been wanting to do maybe some lunchtime lives here and there. So I figured, why don't I practice? This is so funny that when you're looking at yourself on the screen,
Already, I'm practicing mental health and leave me alone. I'm just not.
oh, sorry, guys. Okay. Back to it. I was getting ready to record this video. And then I realized it was around lunchtime. So I said, let me just get on here and do the video for lunchtime. Okay. So I'm working from home. I am on lunch. And I want to get through the latest episode of Love Hotel. Are y'all watching Love Hotel? I ain't seen nobody really talk about it all that much. Now listen, I'm a reality TV queen, okay? Maybe I should take that away. Because there are some shows I don't watch, but most of them I do. And so Love Hotel happens to be one of them that I am tuning into currently. So if you're not watching, you can subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification so you can be notified when I upload another review for Love Hotel. Um, I did a review for the first episode. This week we are doing episode 2. The title of that episode is Three's a Crowd. Of course, from the episode, it's got to have something to do with three people, right? Okay. Again, we have Gizelle, Ashley, Luann, and Shannon. Those are the 4 housewives that are checked into Love Hotel. Now, let me tell y'all something. After this episode, after I watched it, I kind of was like, I'm still on the bandwagon. Like, I don't know why these ladies couldn't have been on the Queen's Court. It feels like the concept is different because it's the concept of the hotel and like they're away at a resort, which is why I kind of keep calling it Love Island too. I've never watched Love Island, but that premise is giving me the same idea of what Love Island is. And let me tell y'all another thing about me with the shows. There is a rhyme and reason to why I don't watch certain shows. Certain shows just don't appeal to me. And those shows would be something like a Love Island. I think they got Temptation Island is another one. I don't watch any of those types of shows because I'm not interested in watching shows in which people are just hooking up. Like, that's not the space that I occupy in my mind for where love is and what I want to see when people are trying to find love. Like, I don't really navigate or gravitate to the shows that are more about like the hooking up focus of it. Okay, so I think that's the difference for me. And this Love Hotel is kind of giving me this, like, Gizelle and Ashley just feel like they just there because they got a phone call. They're going to get paid, I guess. I'm sure they have to pay them for this time that they are sequestered away. And they happen to be single, but I'm not really sure if they're interested in what's going on right here. Like, I think they're here just to have fun. And I don't know that that's a problem. Like, you should be enjoying what it is that you're doing, but I just don't think they're taking it serious. I didn't think, and maybe I had a preconceived idea that they weren't taking it serious, and that's really because we just saw them do speed dating and they supposedly dating these 2 other guys. So it's confusing for me to see them on this show and for me to take them serious about finding love. I think you just here for a paycheck, and and here it is. Now I'm on your you on my TV screen, and here I am on your YouTube talking about the show. But here we go. I'm looking forward to Luann, as I said from last week. That is actually probably who I'm watching the show for. It's not Gizelle and Ashley because I didn't think that they were taking it serious. And I'm not interested in their dating habits. I'm not interested in seeing how they date. I don't know. But I am interested in seeing how Shannon and Luann dates, especially with Shannon being coming out that long marriage, and then she was in that like a 4-year relationship. The guy is getting married to another housewife, Alexis from she was on Orange County this past season. Is that what? Yeah, she started on. She was always with Orange County. Anyhow, he getting married to her, got married, something like that. And so now she out on the dating pool, and I imagine that she doesn't have a lot of experience with dating. So that's kind of interesting to see her, navigate. And Shannon is a bit much, honey. So let's just see how this go for her. Same with Luann. Luann is a fun time girl. She started off as Countess Luann. I told you all this in the first video, but she's easing up. She's fun. I like to see Luann in her element. Luann know how to run me and honey, and it's nice to watch. Let's just get into this episode though, because I gotta keep it short and sweet. Make sure y'all drop down in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking of this season of Love Hotel. It's only 2 episodes so far. So if you have not watched it, you can go back and catch up. It's just 2 episodes. If you are watching Love Island, drop down in the comments and let me know what you would rate the episode. I will let you know what I'm rating it at the end of this review. All right, so let's jump into the episode. Basically, we start off the next day. And it's Ashley and Wale. They exercising, doing some type of stretching or something. Luann and Mark are doing yoga. And basically, one by one, everybody is kind of meeting in the common area for breakfast. As they're meeting, everybody's chatting, saying their pleasantries, good morning, this and that. Mark describes, as he sit down, he describes how Jerry basically tried to check him earlier in the morning about inviting Luann to do yoga. He felt like he was like sneaking a date, as opposed to because the rule is that they have to ask them on the date. The ladies have to ask the guys on the date. There's not a way for the guy to ask the lady on the date. And so he felt that him asking Luann to do yoga in the morning was a sneaky way to get around having a date. I mean, I can see where you're coming from that. Like, it's, I guess it's a competition, but I get it. Like, it's kind of like you bending the rules a little bit. But then again, it's like maybe you're a little salty because you didn't think of it. Because, I mean, you didn't break the rule. It's yoga. It's not a date, right? I don't know. Tell me what y'all think. So Jerry shows up as they kind of talking about it amongst the group, amongst the people that are there. I think Gizelle is there. A couple of the other guys are there. And Luann is teetering behind him. So everybody's really just getting a kick out of this little feud between Jerry and Mark. And Luann is acting like it is just a normal day, okay? Because she is used to having the men, spar about who gonna get her time and affection. So it is not studying her one bit. Shannon is sitting there like in awe, thinking like, oh my God, you got 2 men sitting here fighting over you. She like, I know, girl. Luann is a trip, honey. I like her. I would love to like be able to have dinner with her one night so we can just talk and laugh. I think she would have me cracking up. Okay, so after breakfast, they go and meet Joel, who is the host. I made a special point to make sure I can remember this man's name because he really serves no purpose other than letting them know what to expect for the day. He don't have no advice. He is not good for anything. And he was a little funny in that first episode, but the second episode, not so much. Anyway, they basically are giving instructions that they are going to have to go out on the next date. But the twist is they get to ask 2 men out on the date. Okay. Now, the thing with the men is if any man is asked out on a date by more than one of the housewives, then he gets to decide which date he wants to go on, because the dates are happening simultaneously. So that means if a person is picked to go on two separate dates, they just have to choose which one they want to go on. Okay. Um, but everybody is going on a date with two men. That's the main part of it. So Shannon decides to ask Ralph and Jay out on the date. Now, here's the thing. Shannon is interested in Ralph, right? But she really didn't spark up anything because um Earl. Earl is the guy she first talked to in episode 1, and he's kind of clung on to her since. So she really ain't had a chance to really, talk to Ralph. And Gizelle kind of already had her little conversation with Ralph, so Shannon was feeling a little way about that. Remember, I said that in last week's review. So Shannon kind of felt like this is her opportunity. So I thought asking Ralph out on the date was a good choice. But Jay is somebody that Gizelle has been spending a lot of time with since that first episode. And not for nothing, he also is Black. I just want to put that out there because in Shannon's confessional, she says, I really want to get to know Jay better for Gizelle. I want to get these two together. And while I know that Shannon has the best of intentions with even that statement, but I thought to myself, it's not because they both Black, is it? Because you don't know Gizelle. So I don't know how you think you are supposed to get any information from somebody else to help another person you don't know and help them get together. Girl, you got enough trouble knowing yourself. I think she should have took that time to focus on herself and to ask the two men that she might possibly be interested in on that date, as opposed to being a good girlfriend. And because again, they're not girlfriends, they just happen to be in the house together. Like Gizelle literally took the guy you said you was interested in out, took him to the side and had a conversation with him before you, and it wasn't about you. Okay, that's the other part. It wasn't for you or about you. So Shannon, I think that's probably a lesson that Shannon is working with in her life, is learning how to look out for herself. I think she has 3 or 4 girls. They all are of age now where they're like college age, they're in college. But and again, she was married for like 20 something years. So I can imagine her having a hard time with that. And I think that's what we're seeing in this episode with that choice that she made. But let's just move on to what Ashley did, because Ashley chooses Jerry and Nick. Now, Ashley has been with spending a lot of time with Wale, okay? And Nick has been trying to spend time with Ashley, but she's been spending time with Wale. So I get why she picked Nick, but I'm not really sure. Oh, she picked Jerry as a buffer. That's what she said in her confessional. Because Nick, I guess she maybe didn't know how Nick was going to be. And so she just kind of wanted somebody to kind of ease that tension, ease it up, make the conversation, help the conversation go if need be. Again, I don't understand this. What are we doing? We not here. I don't, you supposed to be trying to find somebody to date, girl. So I don't know how she didn't end up on the date with 2 men that she was interested in. So with that being said, that's already half the housewives. The other 2 are not necessarily on dates with men that they're interested in. Okay, let's just say that. All right, Luann chooses Ralph and Mark. Now, Luann is interested in Ralph, maybe not Mark so much. Mark is interested in Luann. All right, Gizelle chooses Phil and Ralph. Now, you heard it. 3 of the housewives chose Ralph. Okay, and that leaves Wale and who was it? It's another guy. It was Wale. Oh, and Phil. Yeah. No. Wale and somebody else. I can't think of the name right now. Earl. That's who it was. Wale and Earl are left with no dates. That's who it is. Anyway, Ralph has to decide who he wants to go out on a date with. Ralph chooses Gizelle, and I feel like that was just natural because that's the only person, at least that we've seen on screen, that he's had a conversation with. So it makes sense that he just kind of would navigate to Gizelle. And okay, Gizelle is pretty, so I guess if you had to choose. Now, Luann was a little surprised because Luann said, like Giselle got it going on, but I saw you eyeing me, honey. Listen, Luann is a man eater. I'm telling you. She said, I thought I saw him looking at me. So basically, what Luann's saying is the only reason why she even said your name was because she thought you was looking at her. Because if she didn't think you was looking at her, baby, you wasn't gonna get nothing from Luann. Listen, I ain't mad at her for it. I am not mad. Need a little bit of water. Um, so Shannon is not too happy about Ralph choosing to go on a date with Giselle. Of course, Shannon has a lot of self-esteem and just kind of like confidence building that she needs. No fault to nobody. It's just something that she is working on. And so she didn't really like that. She kind of like, dang, I get it. She wish Ralph would have chosen her. But I really do think that, I mean, outside of Giselle being obviously gorgeous, like it's just obvious. I think it was really more so he had a conversation with her prior and probably wanted to talk to her some more. Okay, we just gonna chalk it up to that. Um, Now I told you so. That means that the other guys have to go where Ralph is not. So Shannon goes ahead and picks Earl, which she probably should have had Ralph and Earl in the first place, but Earl is on the date with her, and Luann is on the date with Wale. Of course, Wale is only interested in Ashley. Everybody knows that, and his age. Like Luann, that's not somebody Luann will be interested in. Luann is a lady of like what we call it, like luxury, honey. Like, yeah, she is not about to be fiddling around with Wale. Wale looked like he sell surfboards on the beach, which is right up Ashley's alley, in my opinion. As long as he making a killing off of it. But that's the kind of like lifestyle he seemed like he has, or looks like he has. Okay, I'm not trying to be no gold digger. I'm just saying what I see. Okay, let's move on to what happens. So they do go on the dates. Like I said, those dates happen simultaneously. Gizelle ends up being the only housewife that is on a date with two men that she potentially could be interested in. Everybody kind of passed Phil up, but because Gizelle is on this date with Phil, she's being able to get to know him more because Phil really hadn't stepped out. He hadn't been put himself out there yet and talked to anybody. I think that was the first time we all heard him speak, to be quite honest, viewers included. So everybody is on their prospective dates, and of course, Ashley asked the question to her date Nick, if he has dated black women before. At the same time, we see, Giselle, listen, as a black woman, if you're dating somebody that is not black, that is a conversation that you have. You ask them, like, have you ever dated a black woman before? Nick has not. It was very obvious. It took him a long time to answer. And it made me look at him a funny way. That's what I'm gonna say. Like, I don't know, it's the first time for everything, but it just made me look at him a funny way because, again, it kind of tells on yourself why you might be interested in Ashley. And that's the thing about women. Black women don't want to be like the white guy's fetish, and Nick is kind of giving those vibes a lot. Anyway, Gizelle, the two, Ralph and Phil, both have, and funny enough, you can look at them and tell. I don't. And then, like, what does that look like, right? Like, what does it look like to look like you date black women, or you have? Um, they seem, I'm gonna say, seasoned, right? And not just in age, because I think they both in their 60s. One is 61, one is 63. Um, but what I mean is like how you say well traveled, how you say have been around, how you say they got some culture about themselves. Yeah, that's kind of it. Well, now, Phil happened when he answered the question, he happened to say, like, well, I am black. And Giselle's like, well, that don't really mean nothing. And she is right, because let me tell y'all something. I got my own story about how I was told that a man did not date black women. And he is black himself. Okay. And so to her point, that didn't mean anything. It is something that you probably have to ask a person, as I so rudely found out, because a person could even choose to go out on a date with you, and then as they're choosing to go out on this date with you, will then politely let you know, like, I really don't date black women, as if they're doing you some fucking favor. Excuse me. that was that was that was my own experience, because how we end up here if you don't date? Because ain't no way you thought I was okay. All right. Anyway, back to Love Hotel. So yeah, Phil kind of answered that way, and to Giselle's point, she's like, "Well, that doesn't really mean much. Like, some black men don't date black women, so we want to know for sure." He said, "Absolutely." Same with Ralph, absolutely. And like I say, they look a little seasoned, like they've been around, and not in no whole way. Like, they know love is love. They are open, okay, and they are open. And you can kind of see it in them, right? You kind of see that. The same as I saw Nick is like, Nick probably ain't never seen. Well, actually, back it up, because he has lived in North Africa, and that was what Ashley brought up. I think I said that right. I might have said it wrong. Listen, my geography is horrible. Anyway, but the point, it was not, and then it was not South Africa. So she made a point to say, really, because you lived in this area with black women. However, he said he did not get an opportunity to date. Which I'm not surprised, because you look like the type. And I'm gonna just leave it there. Listen, I said in my notes, I said Gizelle is definitely a gold digger, and this episode is putting the antennas up. As soon as Phil said gated community, she got real interested in everything he had to say after that. Now, this is what's funny about her getting so interested in the gated community. Because he said the sentence or the phrase he said was, you know, she was talking to him about living in LA, and she was saying that how does he like living in LA? That she kind of thinks basically that the people in LA don't work. It's a different type of life going on, and it's a life that she's not used to, like, seeing. And so he was basically describing to her, like, it's a huge difference. Like, the LA that we see is not the LA that's going on. And so he's like, when I sit back in my gated community, and honey, her little ears perked up, like, gated community. So this is where I'm going with this stuff about women who, like, size men up based off of what it is they are presenting to you. Um, Now, Phil lives in a gated community, and I know that this gated community is not circled in with prison guards, okay? But this is an example I'm gonna use. Like, if a person wanted to embellish their life, let's say, couldn't they be in work release, and phrase that as a gated community? You could be in prison and phrase that as a gated community. So I just thought to myself, like I said, the fact that he could use that phrase and that's what makes you want to know more about him. It kind of solidifies the gold digger. It like, even with Sweet Tea on Married to Medicine, when she made the comment, she like access to the money. I think that the way she said it is the reason why everybody likes that phrase. And I mean, who doesn't like access to the money? I mean, it's a true thing. It did not make her appear to be a gold digger, not in my eyes, because I thought it was a very generalized thing that most anybody could relate to. You know, if you're married, who doesn't want access to the money, big or small? So I didn't necessarily link that phrase to her being a gold digger. But this thing with Gizelle, I thought, oh yeah, girl, you a gold digger, honey. Like, I don't even, ain't no other way to put that. Ain't no other way to put that, because you was not interested in that man at all until he mentioned gated community. And then you like, tell me more about this gated community. Go check out the shorts. I already did a short on it. Okay. So let's move on. Everybody is back at the hotel after their dates. Shannon gets a kiss from Earl. Earl seemed like he'd been drinking a little bit. And that, like, going back to that first episode, I said this in the first review. I'm a little concerned about Shannon and Earl and his drinking. Because it does look like Shannon is taking her drinking serious. Thank God she is. And I hope that it's not just in this arena while the cameras are on. It does appear that that's something, that this is a lifestyle for her. But Earl seemed like he liked to drink, and that could be a problem for Shannon. And it could probably be triggering for Shannon, because Shannon is known to just really kind of fly off the handle. A lot of times it seemed like she may have been drinking when she have flown off the handle in past episodes of Orange County, but there's no way to really be sure. So anyway, he looks like he's a little feeling himself, a little lit off the alcohol. But he, gets in front of everybody. Well, they walking through the hallway, and he know everybody is in the one room. So he steals a little kiss from Shannon. He wanted to show everybody. I think that made Shannon feel good. Stuff like that, I think, makes a person feel nice, right? It might be a little embarrassing, but it still feels nice. Ashley is still giving Nick a chance, okay, to kind of push up on her. She kind of told him during their date that he has really not been applying pressure, and he hasn't. And listen, man, that's a problem. Women want a hunter. And nobody said that you had to be aggressive. Nobody said that you had to like be entitled to a woman because you are attracted to her. Nobody is saying that. But yeah, if you like somebody, and if she's giving you even the smallest indication that she might be open to a little flirtation, you might have to step it up, because you'll be in a friend zone if you pussyfoot around like Nick is doing. Okay. But she's still trying. Okay. Gizelle is done with Jay because her eyes is on the prize, honey. She got Phil in her radar, and she is looking at Jay like, this is what she said. Jay, he reminds me of other men I've dated in the past. Not for nothing, he do look a little bit like Sherman. But he's handsome. He's more handsome than Sherman, because Sherman was not handsome. However, he got a bald head. He really chocolate. And that's probably why I'm comparing him to Sherman. But he is handsome. Now, what he got going on in his pockets, we don't know, because he didn't mention the word gated community. Phil is the only one that has mentioned that he live in a gated community. Okay. Why he looked like he on a permanent vacation also. Okay, that's the way he dressed, like he on vacation every single day. So Nick is trying to walk Ashley to her room. I think he is, wanting to prepare to get a kiss from Ashley. Well, that doesn't go as he planned because as they walk into the room, honey, I think Luann opened the door first because she hears somebody, and then here comes Shannon. Oh no, I think it was Shannon first. No, it had to be Gizelle first, then Shannon, and then it was Luann last. So every time he thought he could, shoo one away, here come the other one. So he just had to let Ashley go, give her a nice little hug. He said he got cock blocked by every housewife that was there. Yeah, buddy, no privacy for you, honey. So the next day, the girls go to the pool. They had a cute little scene. I guess Shannon had got them all. It looked like synchronized swimming, like costumes, and they also looked like they were crochet. So I don't know. Now Shannon did not say that she did it herself, and I guess she wouldn't have for all of them anyway. But they were cute, okay? They were cute, and so she gave them all to the girl. They all had matching cover ups and the matching like crochet like swimming caps, and they all stepped out the room at the same time. It was a really cute scene, probably the cutest scene thus far. Um, so they go to the pool and they matching hats and outfits, and they start to discuss the guys in the process. And so Luann is kind of saying like, "Hey, do you think these guys can afford our lifestyles? Like not trying to sound like a gold digger." And actually, Luann did not bring it up. Gizelle brought it up because she got Phil on the brain, honey. And she not really trying to let these girls know that Phil might be the golden goose. But she on top of it. She got her eye on the prize, as I said before. But Luann chimes in because listen, that's what I was saying about Luann. Luann is not about to date a Wale because he looked like he sells surfboards on the beach. Now, the Wale is 34. Luann will date younger than her, and I think she will date somebody that's 34. He better be a Wall Street banker. Okay, he got to have some money in the bank. He got to be taking care of his business. Luann is not about this you just do whatever life, okay? She is about get your money, get that paper. So that's what she's saying. Like, yeah, we don't want to be like they sugar mamas. So we want to make sure that these guys like can move and shake with us. Now, listen, on the topic of being a gold digger, because I just said that I feel this episode, in my mind, solidified Gizelle as a gold digger. But let's have this conversation. When you are in a certain tax bracket, you have a certain lifestyle, and you are dating. It is important, I think, to date somebody who is in that same bracket with you. Otherwise, I guess you are a sugar mama. And I think Ashley is the only one I think would be okay with being a sugar mama, and that's probably because she got so much from their husband. I don't listen. Don't let me get to lying because maybe she didn't get that much. Did we find out? I know the divorce is finalized. Did we find out what she did get? I don't even know. But I think that she's okay with being a sugar mama. That's the basic. At the end of the day, that's what I think it is. I think she feels like she paid her dues, even though in this episode she mentions like with Nick taking his time and pussyfooting around. She kind of mentions like, well, that's why the girls like the daddies because the daddies know what they want. They know how to get it. And so that little thing kind of indicates that she's attracted to older men. But here's the reason why we know she's not, and it's a total lie. And she did marry that man just to like secure a lifestyle. That's what it was. It was to secure a lifestyle. But ever since you've been broken up for this man, you ain't dated nobody even close to Michael's age, close to what he looked like, close to what he got. You ain't dated nobody even in the atmosphere of Michael. The people that you have dated, they seem, because Josh, what was Wendy calling him? The harlot. Oh, is that man name even Josh? Who is the heart? Okay, now I can't even think of the man name. But the guy she was dating this last season of Potomac, with the hair with the like curly puff afro. I mean, he didn't look like he had very much going on outside of being young. I'm saying he didn't look very professional. He didn't look like he had a whole like career happening. It looks like he was just doing, I mean, like what regular, 30 something year olds are doing. And that seems out of Ashley's league financially. I don't know for sure because I'm not in that girl's bank account. But as long as she's been on Potomac, even without Michael's money, whatever she's able to bring in from being a housewife, it still is more than what it looked like he got altogether. So yeah, I think Ashley is just wanting to have fun. She's young and she's been attached to this man that was like twice her age. I don't think it's anything wrong with it. As a matter of fact, she should have probably been on a Temptation Island or a Love Island type of deal because I think that's where she is in her life. But here we are watching her pretend that she want to find love. And here I am talking to you about it. Lord Jesus. It's a nasty little cycle. So they go ahead and join the host Joel again, okay? Because again, remember I told you he is only good for letting them know what they can expect. He ain't good for nothing else. So they gonna get their next update. During this update, they find out that they are going to get some new men. But in order for the new men to come, they are going to have to get rid of some of the old men. So each one of them gets to select one man that they want to stay. They can give him a key to stay. And Luann keeps Ralph because he's tall. Even though at the top of the morning or yesterday morning, she had two other men fighting for her. See, I told you Luann is a man eater. But Luann said, Ralph, you're going to know who I am before this trip is over. So she decided to keep Ralph. She said she liked how tall he is. Bye-bye, Mark and Jerry. Gizelle picks Jay because Ralph has already been chosen. So Jay was on his way out. But Ralph has been chosen. Gizelle, she want to stick with something that she know. I know I told y'all she had her eye on the prize about that Phil, right? But she didn't pick Phil, which was surprising. She picked Jay and Ralph. Now, who else? Let's see. Who did Ashley pick? Ashley picked Wale. Yes, Ashley picked Wale. And Shannon. Did Shannon pick Earl? Shannon picked Earl. Yes, Shannon picked Earl. So Earl, Ralph, and Jay. Earl, Ralph, Jay, and Wale. Okay, the four. Earl, Ralph, Jay, and Wale. Those are the four that get keys and get to stay. Once the ladies have picked those four, Joe ended up letting them know, like, hey, I got an extra room key, so y'all get to give it to one other person. The girls go over, they kind of have like a huddle, a little huddle powwow to kind of talk about who they want to give the key to. And Phil ends up getting the key. Luann did not want any one of the guys she had previously been out with. She's like, no, he cannot stay. Ashley was happy with Wale because she basically told us her coochie picked Wale. So again, she should have been on Temptation Island or Love Island, wherever it is, and all they supposed to be doing is hooking up and hoping that they can leave with a relationship. So Phil gets the other key. Now, here's the thing. Even though Gizelle is the one that sniffed the man out, because again, that's the big fish right now before these other men get in here. And don't none of the other girls know it. They ain't sniffed out that man got a little change on him, huh? Somehow Gizelle, not only did she manage to get her date with 2 men that she might have been interested in, she ended up in the end with 3 men still in the house that she was interested in. And get this, they all somebody else's, right? Somebody else is interested in Ralph. Somebody else is interested. Oh no, I'm lying. Ain't nobody else interested in Phil right now. Phil is under the radar. Gizelle is the only one that knows that Phil can probably stand toe to toe with them financially. So that's it on that. We didn't get to see the new guys that's coming in. We're gonna start next week off with meeting those guys. And we'll see how it goes. It looks like Shannon and Earl are gonna have a little tiff, which we're gonna keep our eye on that because I bet it's got something to do with Earl drinking. I'm telling you, Earl got a little lit while he was in that hallway. And like I said, with Shannon, like on her sobriety journey, or just even going through what she went through with the DUI, it just doesn't seem like she should be with somebody who might have an issue with his drinking. Not a good mix. And what did Portia say? Wrong road, Shannon, wrong road. Okay. But it looks like maybe she might get that. And we're going to see. So that's it for that. Thanks for joining me to talk about Love Hotel with Gizelle, Ashley, Luann, and Shannon for Bravo's Housewives. I will bring you another episode next week when we talk about episode 3. So until then, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the bell notification. All right. So you can be notified when I upload a new video or when I go live. And until then, check y'all later. Make sure you drop down in the comments. Let me know. Oh, I got to tell y'all what I thought about the episode. So from a 1 to 10, I'm really just rating the episode about a 5. It's really just coasting for me. It's not something that's so good and it's not so funny. Like there's not any real thing going on. I'm not really sure if Gizelle and Ashley really want to find love. I do think Shannon and Luann do because I've watched them. I know the type of romantics that they are. And I guess that's why I feel that way about them because I've watched you and not so much, right? So we'll see how the rest of the season turns out. Again, I think they could have been on Queen's Court. I'm still like confused about that, but whatever. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about the season thus far. 2 episodes in. If you're gonna catch up on it, and if not, just keep coming back here. I'll keep reviewing it. Okay. All right. Have a good rest of your day and a good rest of your week.